Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are once again going to be returning to r/AmITheA today. I think I said today twice there. Equally, today I am joined by Leo, my boyfriend.
I return.
He's going to be giving input on r/AmITheA today. We wanted to do a video together, and this is the subreddit Leo wanted to do. So
yes, and I was the OG suggester of this subreddit, so yay.
Yay. Let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Am I the asshole for yelling at my girlfriend to stop f***ing eating? My, male 26, sister, female 23, runs a bakery business and she's been struggling lately to keep up with orders because she's been short-staffed. She does a lot of orders for wedding cakes that require custard or marmalade fillings, and I offered to help her out by making these fillings at home and bringing them to her so she has less work to do. Unfortunately, the past 4 times I've made these fillings, my girlfriend, 24, has literally dipped her fingers into the filling jars and contaminated them because, in her words, she just wanted to try some. I've tried explaining to her that she can't dip her fingers in and contaminate the entire batch, because then I have to remake it. I said she should use a spoon and take some out if she wants to try so bad, but she just pouts and says she likes using her finger because it takes her back to her childhood. Today I was trying to finish some chocolate custard to send it to my sister really fast because she was running late on a wedding cake order for an important client. I told my girlfriend beforehand to not eat the custard, and if she really wanted to please use a spoon. I get out of the shower, and what do I see? She has her fingers in it again. I totally lost it because this is the 5th time she blatantly disregarded what I said, and I yelled at her and told her to stop f***ing eating the food I'm making because it's not for her and she's contaminating it. She started crying and got mad at me for fat shaming her, even though I made no comment on her weight, and she has no history of weight issues or eating disorders. I know I was harsh, but she kept pushing my limits. Am I the asshole?
Absolutely not. That is vile.
Yeah, I agree.
I would. Who would want to eat food that's just been touched by someone? That's actually disgusting.
Yeah, there are food safety standards,
Yeah,
right? You can't be putting your body parts in food, regardless.
The Food Standards Agency would, you would, because in the UK you have the Food Standards Agency, which gives you like a rating from 1 to 5 as how like hygienic your establishment is, and that would absolutely go. So like even in like restaurants and stuff, chefs can't like dip their fingers, or they have to use a spoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even if you were wearing gloves, it would be a bit weird to just dip your finger in the food, right? So no, his sister is literally running a business here as well. It's not even like this is making food for family.
Yeah, you know that I have an awful habit of like, if I'm cooking for you, I will just
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that if I was giving it to someone that wasn't you or my family.
Yeah.
That's just really gross.
People are paying for this as well. It's just a complete disregard of that. It's just it's rude. It is just rude.
It's rude and it's really vile. Yes, you are the arsehole. No, your girlfriend's the arsehole.
The girlfriend's the arsehole.
You are not the arsehole.
I will note, I've got a kind of 50-50 spread of arsehole and not the arsehole. We don't necessarily have to agree with whether they are or aren't the arsehole, but in this case, we agree that he is not the arsehole for yelling at her.
Am I the arsehole for demanding my girlfriend tells me her author's pen name? I've, male 32, been dating Siobhan, female 32, for 6 months now. She's always been very vague about what she does for a living, saying things like writing and working from home writing. But recently one of her friends mentioned something and I finally dragged it out of her. She's an author. She writes and self-publishes romance and erotica stories and novels, and while not rich, she's able to make a living out of it. I googled her name and couldn't find anything, so I confronted her about this. She said she's writing under a pen name, so I demanded she gives it to me so that I know what she does. She refuses, saying she doesn't want it leaked, and even by accident, and no one knows. I accused her of not trusting me, and she still refused, which is really annoying. I tried a nicer approach and told her that I want to know her fantasies so I can try it out with her, and she told me that the stuff that she writes aren't her fantasies but her readers, and she's still not going to tell me. At night, I tried to check her laptop for her pen name, but she's changed her password before bed. I was annoyed and told her she clearly doesn't trust me and it's not fair because I have a right to know what she writes, especially since it's a sensitive topic and I don't know her if I don't know her pen name. She was furious I tried to look on her laptop and told me to go home. Before leaving, I told her when she calls to apologise, I expect to get her pen name with the apology. She called me an asshole on my way out. I thought she'd called by now, but she hasn't. My sister told me I was the asshole and I should apologise, but I just don't see it and need a second opinion. Was I the asshole?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, she's not comfortable with telling you this thing, and that should just be the end of it. She doesn't have to tell you it, and you don't have a right to just know. But also, trying to look on her laptop when she isn't aware that you're doing this against her wishes is just a violation.
Boundary disrespect.
Yeah.
You're disrespecting so many boundaries in this entire thing, and she's clearly setting the boundaries and she's being nice about it. She hasn't been aggressive and told you to F off or anything like that. She's clearly communicated a very reasonable boundary, and you have disrespected it so many times, and you're expecting to be told that you're in the right. Like, absolutely not. You are absolutely the arsehole in this situation, not just because you're logging onto her computer without permission and like trying to get information out of her, but you're just being a disrespectful partner. Like, this is just unkind. It's no. Why would you do this and think that someone would like be okay with that behavior? It just doesn't make sense. You are absolutely the arsehole.
Arsehole. And you had like an arsehole stamp. It's just an asterisk. Am I the arsehole? I didn't attend my son's wedding. I instead spent the evening with his ex-wife. This one has been marked not the arsehole. I have a feeling before we go into it that the title has been woefully taken out of context deliberately.
They do that a lot with Am I the Arsehole? They try to construe it with the title and then you're like,
Quick backstory. After graduating high school, my son moved 3 states away out for college. At 19, he married a girl he met. I tried convincing him to wait because I personally felt he was too immature. They both dropped out and moved back here to his hometown. At 20, they had their first child, a beautiful little girl. 16 months later, my daughter-in-law gave to their second child a little boy. After the first baby, my wife and I noticed our daughter-in-law wasn't happy. We both thought it was PPD related. What's PPD?
Postpartum depression.
Just after the second arrived, my son and his wife separated. She would bring the kids over for a visit. It was then she began unloading on us. I know there's 2 sides to every story, but considering I know my son, I believed her. I sat my son down numerous times to speak with him regarding his marriage. He refused to take responsibility, blaming her for everything, even when I directly pointed out where he was the sole problem. They got into counselling. For a year, things were okay on the surface. Our daughter-in-law filed for divorce. My son, 3 days later, was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. My son had forced his then wife to become a permanent stay-at-home mum at the birth of their first child. She, of course, had no other family or friends here. She knew no one aside from us. She had nowhere to go with 2 small children. Unbeknownst to our son, my wife and I helped her financially and got her an apartment. Before the divorce was even finalized, we received a wedding invitation. I made it clear to my son I would not be attending and they would not have my blessing. His mother told him she would see it that I would attend. I stayed consistent in my decision. I also asked him not to bring his fiancée around our house out of respect of the mother of his children. The wedding happened on Feb 11, the night before my wife gave me the final push. I did not attend. Our daughter also did not attend for the same reasons. My wife picked up our grandkids, got them dressed, and attended the wedding. My daughter and I decided to spend the evening with his ex. I couldn't imagine her sitting alone while her kids attended their father's wedding. She was taken aback that I didn't end up attending his wedding. We took her out to distract her mind. I just wanted her to know she'll always be considered family to us. My daughter also made a joke they can drop the in-law status and just be sisters now. She was very tearfully grateful. I realized just how badly she needed our support, and specifically on that night. The next morning, my son called to tell me how much of a horrible father I am for not attending his wedding. A few days later, he caught wind that I spent the wedding evening with his ex. He said that was the ultimate form of betrayal, and further myself and his sister would have to earn a relationship with him on his terms only. I know without a doubt I did the right thing. I even feel differently now. His mother should not have attended either, but we can't go back and undo that. So my son saw the post. I sent my daughter the link yesterday so she could read the comments. This morning she texts me at work, "Dad, you went viral. Lol." But anyways, he sent screenshots of the post and all my comments to his mum. He also told her he's dead to me now. Time will tell if he means that. I'm sure he'll see this update soon. For that reason, I'm positively certain the second he needs another cash loan, I won't be dead anymore. His mum told him, "Your children have to be our #1 priority. They're not just some disposable items you can leave behind when one chapter of of your life closes. Maybe one day he'll understand this. I don't think they're the asshole.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
That's a good dad.
Yeah.
You are a good dad.
I mean, there were many red flags here. The first red flag was probably the getting married at 19.
Yes.
It's quite early to get married. Did they say how long they were together before they got married? No.
I'm assuming probably only about a year, because in America college starts at 18 and they got married at 19.
Yeah, true.
And they met at college, so I'm going to assume year maximum.
But then getting divorced and having a girlfriend 3 days later
That's
they were
literally vile.
They got engaged to them how long after the announcement?
A
3
month.
days later, a month. So he was clearly cheating on her,
Yeah,
right? There's no way that a month later he was like, let's get married.
No, that's 100% cheating.
Yeah.
That's just vile person. You are not the asshole. Your son deserves nothing.
Don't give him any loans
No,
if
don't
he
give
comes
him loans.
crawling.
You're dead if Am I the asshole for not inviting my unsupportive sister to my wedding? I, 24 female, got engaged to Derek, 30 male, 1 month ago. Prior to that, we had known each other for 6 months. I know that's not a long time, but when you know, you know. We are madly in love and ready to commit ourselves to each other fully. My sister, 26 female, has a problem with that though. She was supportive of my relationship with Derek before we got engaged. When I sent her a text saying that we were engaged, she responded by saying congratulations. But then when I saw her the week after that, she got all serious and said I should strongly consider the marriage. She told me that I was young and could meet people I loved more. That was offensive to me because I love Derek more than anything, and she's basically saying my love isn't that important. She also told me that Derek and I could date for long before we got married, but we were already fully committed to each other, so we might as well get married and be recognised as soulmates in the eyes of the law. Anyway, the conversation was so hurtful to me. I eventually asked her very directly, do you support me marrying Derek? She said no. So I stood up, told her that she shouldn't be at the wedding if she didn't want us to get married, and left. I haven't talked to her since, although she has texted me multiple times asking to talk. Derek and I were working on the wedding guest list yesterday, and we both agreed that my sister should not come if she doesn't support us, so we're planning to not invite her. I mentioned this to my friend yesterday, and she pointed out that it may be a little rude of me not to invite her, so am I the asshole for not inviting my unsupportive sister to my wedding?
So I've been waiting for this one because I've got opinions, and I also read the comments.
I also have opinions and I'm not sure about it.
So, yes, you're the asshole, and for a numerous amount of reasons outside of just the marriage. And I want to break down. So, first of all, the age gap is 6 years, which isn't huge.
I didn't even.
It's not huge, but you develop a lot between 24 to 30, right? She's only 1 year older than me, and she's been dating for less than half the time that we have. But on top of that, Derek is a 30-year-old man who is encouraging her to break off with her sister.
That's grooming. That's even if she is 24, that is still 100% grooming.
Surely a 30-year-old who, if he didn't have ulterior intentions, right? If there wasn't something going on here, he would probably be considering the sister's opinion and saying it's normal for someone to be concerned about someone marrying someone they've known for 6 months. That's a reasonable thing to say, right?
Yeah.
But this girl is willing to break off relations with her sister over someone she's known for 6 months.
I have a feeling that there is a little bit of grooming at play here. I do also think she is an arsehole, but I also think that she is being heavily influenced by this older man who clearly has significant power over her.
Isolation and removing people's access to friends and family is key abusive relationship strategy, right? But ignoring that and pretending maybe Derek's just a bit simple and it's still 6 months. They don't know each other.
No.
They've known each other for 6 months, not necessarily even been dating for 6 months. You don't know in that time that you are fully in love with someone, right? You're still in the infatuation phase, where it's it's essentially still the honeymoon period,
the honeymoon
right?
Phase,
You can't determine that you want to spend the rest of your life with someone on that short amount of time.
No.
It's going to end badly. And being willing to cut your sister off for that is real sketchy. Real sketchy. So
I agree. I think they are the arsehole. And
Yeah.
I think she should maybe have a look at her relationship with Derek and consider if she's actually in a healthy one, because that's Oh, I kind of feel bad for her in a way, even if she is the arsehole.
And like,
because-
what are Derek's motives here?
Yeah, what are Derek's motives? Anyone called Derek can't be trusted.
He's a 30-year-old encouraging that. And that's the that's the sketchy part for me.
Yeah.
So this one's an interesting one because once again, the title of this immediately makes me think that they would be, but Reddit has decided that they're not the asshole. Am I the asshole for wearing a wedding dress at a wedding? Immediately, my opinion is, if you're not the one getting married, yes. So my friend 20 and I, 19, have been friends for a few years and she recently got engaged. Oh wait, so it's a dude? My friend 20 female and I 19 male have been friends for a few years and she recently got engaged.
She's also only 20.
Yeah. A week ago, I got a DM from her for a small costume party she was hosting as a celebration for her getting engaged. I asked if there was a theme, and she said there wasn't. I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of choices. I didn't want to rock up in an anime cosplay, so I thought it would be funny to go to an engagement party as the corpse bride. I arrived at her house yesterday, and everything seemed normal. A few people complimented my costume, and I was having a lot of fun. After 10 minutes, my friend's fiance walked out in a black tuxedo and announced this was actually their wedding. Apparently, my friend saw a video of someone doing this and wanted to do the same. He asked us all to go to the backyard for the ceremony to begin. I went straight to him and asked if I should quickly go home and change my outfit and that I would get back before it started. He told me it was fine since I didn't know this was the wedding. I trusted him and followed everyone outside. They got married and everything seemed good. The reception was just in their house again, so everyone just walked back inside and picked up where they left off. I tried talking to my friend and celebrating with her, but she kept making excuses to not talk to me. I assumed it was just because she was tired from the big day and wanted some alone time. I didn't bother her after that, and the party soon ended. I got home and half an hour passed when my phone started getting notifications. I checked and it was my friend texting me. She was cussing me out and telling me how I ruined her wedding. I was really confused and asked her what I did. That only made her more angry. She told me it was basic knowledge not to wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her I had no idea it was a wedding and that I asked her now husband if I should change, and he said it was fine. She didn't respond, but I got a text from her husband. He asked why I would tell her he said it was fine. I told him, he said it was fine. Then he said how I should have changed anyways, and it's my fault that the two are now fighting over this. I've tried texting her that I was sorry, and if I had known, I wouldn't have done it. I woke up today and saw her and her husband have blocked me on everything. So, am I the asshole for not changing out of the wedding dress when I found out it was actually a wedding? Edit. I'm a guy. I have cosplayed the character Emily from Corpse Bride and had blue paint all over. I'm also Australian, and I've never heard a costume party mean fancy. Everyone was dressed up in funny costumes.
Oh, that poor man. Both of them, the husband and the friend.
I agree with this. This is interesting because in Am I the Asshole, normally the title's out of context and they're trying to make themselves sound better.
But no, they literally were just actually wearing a wedding dress at a wedding.
Yeah, this was taken out of context that makes them sound like the bad guy.
Yeah.
But they were the good. They
Yeah.
were. So they didn't know it was the wedding, so they can't be blamed for wearing the dress. But also fully checked in with the groom.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. They were willing to go home and change. That's the big defining thing here. They didn't know it was the wedding and were fully willing to go home and change, but were told it was fine. So how could that possibly be their fault?
Yeah, that's... I was going to say, I nearly said poor groom, but I've realised that the groom's just being a two-faced arsehole.
Yeah, the groom was
well.
being a bit of a knob about it afterwards as
Yeah.
well, because he was like, oh, you should have just lied. You should have just owned up to it and not said that I had any involvement.
Yeah, that's really sketchy. Either he's really afraid of the wife or is just a two-faced idiot who...
But also, like, if that's something that the wife is starting a fight over, like, the day after the wedding, is that she's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Once again.
This is just a lot of red flags in one thing.
Red flags.
This poor guy just thought he was going to a costume party, honestly. Like, and now he's lost two of his friends. Like, I just feel really bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely not the arsehole.
Yeah.
Just what is going on here? It's just like so many red flags, like the fact that she's only 20, which I mean, people get married at 20 all the time and it works out fine, but clearly this is not a situation where it's going to work out fine. Yeah, I think that it's funny that he went as the corpse bride to an engagement. Well, he didn't even know it was a wedding.
Yeah, I would have thought that was a funny thing to go, like, funny costume to take as well.
Oh, people are people, and I don't like them.
Yeah.
This is why I never leave the house.
And that's where I'm going to end the video. I hope you have enjoyed, everybody. Leo, do you have anything you want to plug?
I'm not very active at the moment, but I am soupy on basically every social media, and I do art sometimes when I'm not drowning in
links in the
university.
description. Do you have a link tree?
Yes, I do have a
I'll put the link tree in the description then. If you want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click the join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. We're in a state now where my insurance has gone up by a considerable amount, and we also want to move in. We want to get our own place because I live with my parents. So genuinely, like, financial support helps because it's a lot of money.
It helps both of us.
It helps both of us. So yeah, I do appreciate it, but as I've said, I will keep making content regardless. So other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.